Welcome, everyone, to Tales of Praxis. I'm Aaron Suduko, the founder of With a Terrible Fate, your online publication home for everything to do with the literary study of video games and their groundbreaking storytelling. This is an exciting day for the Tales of Praxis project because it started out as a revisit of the Tales series through the remastered new edition of Tales of Symphonia. And as we journeyed through this stream and got excited about digging into the story, we collectively made the decision to dive into the sequel, Tales of Symphonia, Dawn of the New World, next, which is exactly what we're starting today. So whether you have seen that previous stream and journeyed through Tales of Symphonia and Tethe'alla and Silverant with us, or you're diving into this one, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. We are really focused on trying to explore thoughtful JRPG storytelling and video game storytelling more broadly through these story-oriented streams that are just one of the many new forms of content you can find on With a Terrible Fate, adding to our repository of long-form written articles analyzing the storytelling of games, lectures at conventions like PAX West, PAX East, and so on, and podcasts of a variety of lengths and a variety of focuses when it comes to video game storytelling. So I'm excited to continue on with this. This is the moment as we dive into another game when it starts to feel like really a series of analyses that we're doing rather than a single stream. So I hope you're excited for that as well. I'm also almost a little more excited for this stream, to be honest, than I was for Tales of Symphonia, the first stream. Not just because it's my second stream ever now, so I'm a little less nervous and hopefully understand what I'm doing a little bit more, but I'll let the viewers be the ultimate judge of that. But also because, like I mentioned many times during the Tales of Symphonia stream, I played that game so many times front to back as a kid, and so I had many memories of it, and it was really formative for me in developing my views on video game storytelling. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to revisit it. When it comes to the sequel, though, I only played it once, and I was in the camp of, I think, many fans of Tales of Symphonia and the series more broadly, where I was pretty disappointed because the sequel was, in a variety of ways that we'll explore, pretty wildly different than the original game. But even though I only played it once, it really stuck with me, I think in its own special ways, just as much as the original, because some of the ways in which it frustrated me at the time, I think, were also really unusual and striking things about the way that it tells a story, which I think I would say have stood the test of time in terms of still being really interesting and unusual and illuminating when it comes to how games tell stories. But that's one of the fun reasons that we're revisiting it now, to see if it did stand the test of time or if it's just as frustrating now as it was back in the day. And to do so after having just freshly played the original, I think, is a special treat. I will say one of the reasons that I'm starting this stream on the load screen is that, well, I say I only played it once. I booted up my Wii this weekend to get ready for the stream, and I was delighted to see that it all still worked because I hadn't played it in years and years. My Wii at all, I mean. But also, I discovered on this load screen that even though I only played this game once, I sunk almost 700 hours into it, which I have next to no memory of. Maxed out all the characters, had a crazy tricked out party and everything. I won't dwell on this because I don't want there to be spoilers going into the game. But needless to say, I mean, little Aaron kind of impressed himself with that, or rather big Aaron, I guess, was impressed by young Aaron. And this game was clearly sufficiently interesting and engaging to hold my attention for quite a good amount of time, despite the fact that I don't have memories of enjoying it all that much. So maybe we can even unpack why that is as we get on with it. I don't want to belabor a synopsis of Tales of Symphonia for people who haven't played it and are joining in on this stream, and I think it can almost be rewarding in its own way to look at this kind of game on its own terms if you haven't played Tales of Symphonia. So I encourage you to think about it just as sort of a mythos that is built upon a world that was created through a previous game, if you're not familiar with the previous game. But to give very brief cliff notes, just because I think, if nothing else, it's a fun exercise to try to quickly summarize a giant, like probably 45-hour JRPG when all is said and done with the stream. Tales of Symphonia, if you haven't played it, You start out on this journey to save the world. You find a world, Silverant, that's in decline, and you join through the lens of this party of characters that includes the literal chosen one, who is designated to regenerate the world and restore the flow of mana to it and defeat this oppressive race called the Desians. You go on this journey only to find out that that's not really the intention of the journey at all. Actually, Silverant is just one half of the world, which was divided into Tetheala and Silverant by this ancient hero, Mythos, who did so in order to basically artificially lower the amount of mana available in either world, and thereby prohibit civilization from developing to the point that they would go to war with each other and destroy each other, as had happened in the ancient past with the Karlon War. We also discover that Mythos' own sister, Martel, who is known in the present-day world as this goddess, was actually a real person who lived alongside Mythos. They were half-elves. She fell victim to this sickness, and Mythos basically put her in this suspended state of comatose life in order to try to keep her alive, sort of, until he could find a new vessel for her. And so this whole journey of regeneration doesn't just reverse the flow of mana between these two worlds that are vying for a limited supply. It also cultivates a chosen one, like Colette, that person from our original party, into this apt vessel for Mythos' sister, Martel, in an attempt to bring her back. We discover all this. We actually encounter characters from Tetheala who originally are trying to kill Silverant's chosen one because Tetheala's flourishing depends on Silverant's decline and vice versa, but they ultimately join with us. These are, many characters whom I'm alluding to now, but if you watched the last stream, I have a lot of love for all of those characters. That's one of the reasons that Tales of Symphonia has really stood the test of time as a game that I love. But so you decide, we have to figure out how to save both worlds, so we're going to try to do that. The first thought of how to do that is by having one of the party members from Tetheala, named Sheena, who has the ability to summon spirits, try to make pacts with all of these summon spirits that kind of govern the elements and the mana flow between worlds. And we find out that as those pacts are formed, and pacts are made with the summon spirits in both worlds, those links that tie the mana of one world to the other are severed, and so everyone thinks, okay, that's great. We can make each world be independent of one another by basically snipping all of these ties that they have with the mana. Seems like a great idea. It's not. It ends up causing the great seed of this giant tree, which originally provided the one world with basically infinite mana before Mythos split it in two, causes that seed to go out of control and be reborn as this monstrous form that threatens to destroy both the worlds and also the soul of Martel. So the party has to go to great lengths to use the summon spirits that they've made pacts with to basically calm down the great seed. We also then find out that Colette has been stricken with this sickness, where the Crucius crystal on her, a special form of X-sphere, these objects derived from human lives that are used to power other humans. Hers was designed to make her into an angel, but her body is actually rejecting it and causing her to turn into a crystal, which is a similar, or I think the identical sickness to what Martel suffered from way back in the early days before the start of the game. So we have to figure out a way to save her. That sends us on a whole other journey. The party discovers the history of the world that I just explained to you. We learn a whole mess of other stuff along the way about the nature of X-spheres, like I said, how they come from human lives. There are deep themes of discrimination between the half-elves and kind of on one side the humans and on the other side the elves, and there's all sorts of different pockets and varieties of discrimination between those different races. We even talked in a side quest at the end about how that discrimination extends to the cats, the kind of joke anthropomorphic cat species that we encounter. And we learn a lot about a ton of memorable relationships, which will probably come up again in this game. Some of them being things like Regal the Noble, who fell in love with his servant, Alicia, and they were to be married, but Alicia was selected for this experiment to try to better cultivate X-spheres, and she was turned into a monster, so she begged him to kill her, and he did. That created this whole painful arc with her sister, Presea, who's one of the party members whom we encounter and bring on board. but through meeting each other, the penitent Regal and the girl Presea, who's kind of a girl out of time because she lost so much time to herself being used in an experiment to cultivate Crucius crystals, they're able to find their mutual love of Alicia and a mutual respect for one another. Sheena, the summoner, is able to go from basically a pariah in her village who caused the deaths of many people to actually ultimately, in a side quest that we completed on the stream, inheriting the mantle of village chief and charting the future of Mizuho in the new world that they're going to create. And perhaps most important, Lloyd, the kind of central protagonist, one of Colette's best friends, Colette being the chosen from Sylvarant. He discovered that actually Kratos, this mysterious mercenary who turned out to be one of the original companions of Mythos, a human who's lived for thousands of years just by virtue of X-Sphere and Crucius Crystal technology, was his dad, and showed up not just to guide the events of the Chosen, but also to reunite with his son and guide his trajectory. We discovered that Lloyd's X-Sphere is this special one that's been embedded with these powers from the life and love of his mother, Anna, whom Kratos had to kind of mercy kill in a similar way to what we talked about with Regal and Alicia. And so Lloyd has to come to terms not just with ideas of what justice consists in and what the right relationship for the two worlds is, but also what his notion of family is and what it is to be the son of someone like Kratos. All this culminates with the party ultimately defeating Mythos, rejecting what he has stood for in his own interpretation of what it is to try to overcome discrimination. His thought being will eliminate all differences between everyone and usher in an age of lifeless beings in the world. And after rejecting that, they're able to actually, through a combination of Lloyd's abilities and the pact that they made with Origin, the kind of progenitor of the world whom Mythos relied on to actually split the world in two in the first place. The party is able to undo that by bonding the worlds back together and germinating a new great tree to bond the worlds. The spirit of Mana, this new summoned spirit made manifest by their efforts, appears, and they form a pact with her on the premise that we will nurture and nourish and love this seed, this great tree, and by extension the world. So it's really their belief in humanity and half-elves and elves alike, and the capacity of those people to get along and forge a better future that actually grounds the covenant of the pact that supports all this new mana that they were seeking the whole time for the sustenance of both worlds. I think that is the best bite-sized synopsis I've maybe ever given of a JRPG, especially with no notes and no preparation. And I've had a lot of practice, but it's mostly been much more scripted than that. So forgive me if I left anything out or miscommunicated anything, but hopefully that is more than enough to get ready for the sequel. Oh, hey, Chrissy, I was so tied up in the plot synopsis that I didn't even see you come in. Welcome, Amy. If you're new to what we do on With a Terrible Fate, I apologize in advance. No, I'm kidding. Hopefully you'll have fun. I think the lowest key way to think about it, especially with what we do on the stream, is it's kind of like a book club in real time, right? We think a lot about the storytelling of video games, and what we're doing on these streams is basically taking an opportunity to revisit this special series of JRPGs that meant a lot to me growing up and has meant a lot to many people. Basically Bandai Namco's version of the Final Fantasy games, otherwise known as the Tales series, and explore what makes their storytelling interesting. I'm working on some companion articles, analyzing them in a little more depth in written form as well. So hopefully Chrissy has already given you a warning or advertisement of what to expect, depending on which side of the fence you sit on. But I think that is more than enough prep, and I'm excited to start off on this new but old, let's say extended adventure with you. So without further ado, let's get into it. I will say, as we talked about with Tales of Symphonia, I was excited to get into a new one because so much of the Tales series is built on really cool New Game Plus experiences, and so I thought, oh, well, I'm dusting off my Wii, I'll have the original files from this, I can do a New Game Plus, but it turns out you have to save your old file in a specific way in order to be able to start New Game Plus, and suffice it to say, with the files that I have now, I wouldn't be able to get to that New Game Plus point without replaying the final boss first, And it's been, I think, at least 15 years since I played this, so it's sufficiently faded in my mind that I want to be able to experience it again with all you. So that's a long way of saying we're going to start with a fresh file, despite the fact that I have one that is virtually perfect in terms of the raw stats on these characters, but that's okay. I'm also gonna, for everyone's benefit, try to do a little more like active tracking of side quests during this, because I was a little let down that we had to do all the side questing at the end last time and had been locked out of a couple side quests and just small scenes that I really remembered fondly as a kid. So I do have a little document open in the background here of which side quests to keep track of as we go, and hopefully that will add to the experience as opposed to detracting from it. Without further ado, then, I think that was everything I wanted to say, so let's dive into it. Oh, I'm so excited. I remember this too. This was cool because, obviously the Wii had this compatibility with all the GameCube software, and so, well, sadly, I think basically all of my many GameCube save files of Tales of Symphonia are now corrupted, which was part of why I didn't even, think to go back and look for them. Back in the day when this came out in 2008, I checked the year, it was 2008. I thought it was a little later last time. You could pop in one of those memory cards and get a nice bonus, which is, I think, a nice way of sort of showing on the level of gameplay and just engagement with the game, like proving your knowledge and familiarity with the past of this world and story. But alas, my corrupted memory will not satisfy that. Here we go. Oh, I'm so excited.
Long ago, the giant Carlon tree, the essence of balance and order in the world, withered and died.
We know that voice, don't we?
The heavens, the world was cleaved in two. Many years later, the Chosen of Regeneration planted a new world tree to take the place of the withered giant Carlon.
This is amazing. So look at how the entire journey of the previous game has been distilled into this, like, literal mythos. Wow, I said mythos. Mythos. Excuse me. Freudian slip.
The unification of Silverot and Tetha Allah. The two worlds were now reborn as one. The world was at the dawn of a bright new era, or so it seemed.
It was Kratos, if you didn't get that. The voice was Kratos. My favorite character, if you weren't watching the last stream. Lloyd! What are you doing back in Palmacosta, man? Boy, Palmacosta continues to have rotten luck based on that opening.
There she is! Seize her. I'll follow Lloyd.
With their high level of technological prowess, the Tetha Allan civilization looked down upon the people of Silverot as barbarians.
Discrimination continues.
The Silveranti blamed the Chosen of Regeneration for bringing this world into being, as they turned their backs on the Church of Martel that supported her. Amidst all of this chaos, the world itself began to cry out. Scorching hot deserts were blanketed with snow. Bountiful lakes dried up and withered. Forests burned to ash as glaciers melted into the sea. These phenomena fan the flames of dissatisfaction within the hearts of the people, leading to the birth of a monster. A resistance organization was formed by the oppressed people of Silverant to defend themselves. United against the perceived evils of Tetha Allah and the Church of Martel, they called themselves the Silverante Liberation Front, the Vanguard.
Remember, this is where I learned the word Vanguard as a little kid.
This way! Hurry!
Yes.
Emil, hurry! We must get away or we'll all be killed by Lloyd!
Who did you say is going to kill you?
Lloyd Irving!
The people of Paul Macosta have aided the Vanguard and undermined the authority of the Church of Martel and the Chosen. The punishment for this crime is death.
I'll tell you, one of the hardest things for me to get into this game as a kid was
Emil! Run! Get away from here!
was that they recast Lloyd's voice acting. Scott Melville, is that what we decided Robin voice actor's name was? He's just so good. It was really hard for me to get into the idea that it's the same character without his voice.
Help me. Help me, Ratatosk.
So I notice we do have a lot more names of new movements and fantasy concepts being thrown at us much earlier here than we did in the first Tales of Symphonia. I talked a lot in the last stream about how it was a very gradual introduction to all that.
Are you the one who saved me? That's Tenebre's howl.
I have to go.
Wait! What's your name?
Emil, you came back. Oh dear. I can't even see your face. I'm not going to last much longer. But you have to live. You have to run before Lloyd comes back. Go to Lewin, to your Aunt Flora. Hurry.
Mom.
Mom!
We have chapters this time. That's a structural change from the first one, too. Talk about a big tonal shift too, right? I mean, we ended the last game with what seemed to be the salvation of the world and the creation of the unity we've been looking for the whole time. And this game comes in with this idea of, oh, life goes on, and the very first scene is just this absolute cataclysm.
like I've heard it before.
Could it be
Maybe it's
Tenebrae's
just my
Howl?
imagination.
The biggest learning curve for me so far in these first few moments is getting used to Wii controls again. I think this uses some motion controls too, so I'm honestly not that excited for that.
Good morning, Aunt Flora.
We'll make it work.
That howl.
Monsters have been going down into the lake bed since dawn.
I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing? Despicable child, always so indecisive. You're hardly like Lana at all. You must take after Raysol.
I'm sorry.
The nicest aunt in the world. Hey, Emil, a new day. I still fucking hate you. Got the same Lewin track from the first game for keeping score. And this game also clearly branches off of a playthrough where Aaron took the time to fully rebuild Lewin as opposed to giving up halfway like we did in the stream.
There's that howl again. It sounds like it's coming from the Fountain Plaza.
That looks like Sheena. Lady Sheena. And Lloyd the Great. They've all become mythological figures with special titles. How about that for attention to detail, calling out the dog naming side quest that we dipped in and out of so many times over that playthrough. Wow, no one seems to like Emil. I don't know, maybe his aunt was onto something. Maybe we're on the wrong side of history here. Jesus Christ. Okay, so we've got a pariah from the get-go this time. It's definitely a different feeling than Lloyd in Azalea at the start of Tales of Symphonia. It took at least, what, like 2.5 hours before he was exiled from his home. Okay, so people have a lot of love for Lloyd the Great and detest the Vanguard, it seems. Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, and look at that, the lake is drained. Boy, that's foreboding. Ah, well, at least the priest explains the dynamics between our avatar and the town. Thanks, priest. The exposition is much appreciated. Ah, Lloyd the Great, etched in stone.
Lloyd.
Hey, Emil, we saw that. Bow to Lloyd the Great.
I already did.
No, you didn't. You don't like Lloyd the Great, do you? That's why you're trying to destroy our city, because Lloyd restored it to its former beauty.
What are you talking about?
Don't act dumb. Ever since you came here, Lake Sanoa's dried up and there are more monsters. You're planning on getting your monster friends to attack the town, aren't you?
Of course not.
Okay, then prove it.
What?
Swear your allegiance to Lloyd the Great right now. If you do that, then we'll believe you. Come on, let's hear it.
Literally, this is what I mean when I say I had to prepare and actually get background on the side quests, because if you're going to do something like that with a Tales game, you need to understand how even a seemingly small choice like this has radical implications for what becomes available or not available in the narrative. Like, I wish I could tell you, but I'm not going to spoil it, but it would blow you away. Also, for the benefit of people who watched the last stream, we didn't get this far in Lewin, but those statues of the party members are actually things that come up in the rebuilding of the city at a certain level as like a gesture of gratitude. But interesting to see how they've kind of been elevated to the status of either godhood or at least, you know, something like a savior to follow and worship in their own right, not unlike the whole Church of Martel vibe that we got in the previous game.
What's the matter? Swear it.
No, I won't. Lloyd killed my parents, and I'll never swear allegiance to that murderer!
We heard that. So that's how you really feel, huh?
No, that's not what I meant to say.
Shut up, you monster! We'll teach you a lesson!
He looks like a main character if ever I've seen one in a JRPG.
Who the hell are you?
I said go.
I am...
You are.
Yes? What is it?
Never mind. You know, you should stand up for yourself.
I was too scared to even thank him for that. Maybe that's why I haven't been able to make any friends. I wish I had friends, but I guess that'll never happen.
Never mind. You know.
Oh no.
You should stand up for yourself.
What an unfortunate time at which to drop.
Stand up for myself. He's right.
We'll get to this at the end of this scene, and I'll
thank
try to
him
do a
for
synopsis.
helping me out the way he did. That's what I'll do.
Okay, well, I guess I already did a good bite-sized synopsis of Tales of Symphonia, the first game, so I'm already warmed up for this. All right, so in the opening motions of Dawn of the New World, right, we got a kind of mythological retelling of the events of Tales of Symphonia, but in a way that indicate they've basically now ascended to the status of almost like gospel or something, like a religious text, like this is how the world was formed. That mythos was told through Kratos' voice, which was great as a longtime Kratos fan, so I called that out. Kratos talked about how in the time since the reunification of the world, basically, surprise, surprise, discrimination has continued and prejudice has continued, but basically between Tetheala and Silverant, because all of the Tethealans were more advanced as a society and so very holier than thou towards Silverant, and Silverant being, basically neglected and pushed to the side, blamed the Chosen, Colette, for having, forced this new world upon them when they didn't want it. We heard tell of the Vanguard, which is this kind of resistance movement formed by Silveranti, who are trying to rise up against the Church of Martel and the Chosen to basically try to reestablish their status in this new world. And then we opened on Palmacosta, the seaside town from Silverant, which was up in flames. We didn't really know why, but we followed this guy, Emil, who's currently our avatar, and also this girl who hasn't been named. Emil saw his parents die. The girl had this mysterious glowing red orb that we don't really know anything about, but she called out to someone or something called Ratatosk for help because she was being hunted down by either townsfolk or soldiers or something like that. And then she was saved through some means that aren't totally clear, but Emil showed up and was kind of next to her, so it seemed as if he might have defeated those people who were trying to hurt her. And then we saw that Lloyd seemingly was on a rampage through Palmacosta, and had been responsible for causing a lot of that chaos and killing a lot of the people there. And then Emil's parents died in front of him and told him to run away to Lewin, where his aunt lives. And so then some unclear amount of time passed, and we opened on Emil waking up in his aunt's house. His aunt can't stand him. None of the townsfolk seem to stand him. And the reason is because he seems to resent, as you might imagine, Lloyd, because he blames Lloyd for the death of his parents. He said in this last scene with the statue there that Lloyd killed his parents. But because all the townspeople, especially in Lewin, have so much attachment to Lloyd and the party for having rebuilt Lewin amongst so many other things, they resent Emil and think that his being brought there, and seemingly his relationship with monsters, they seem to be talking about that too, has brought ruin to Lewin, to do some light wordplay, because I guess also you see that the lake has dried up, and that seems to be a new feature of things since Emil relocated here. I think that is basically everything. Man, I jinxed myself by saying after the Tales of Symphonia synopsis that I had done a good job of synopsizing things on the spot. And I said that because I figured I wouldn't have to do it again anytime soon. But I hope that was at least somewhat cogent. I'm sure a lot of those things will be better explained and illuminated as we get further into things here. Oh yeah, I mean, it's a JRPG. Blink and you'll miss it, right? But that is also one of the things that I was talking about, I think, while you were absent from the stream, was especially in comparison with the gradual introduction to the world in Tales of Symphonia. This is very much like, boom, you think you saved the world? Suddenly, cataclysm right off the bat. Palmacosta's in flames. Everyone's at each other's throats. Oh, and we also met just in the scene before this when the townspeople, like the two brothers, I think, were trying to bully Emil into pledging allegiance to Lloyd, and we said no. This mysterious fella, whose name we don't know yet, but who feels very like 2007 edgy Vincent Valentine, and this was published in 2008, so that tracks, came up and basically told them to get lost and stood up for us. No, don't apologize. It's good. It keeps our minds limber and our memories engaged with tracking all the finer plot points of a JRPG, which, as we all know, is essential in this kind of enterprise.
What is it?
Maybe this was a bad idea.
If you've got nothing to say, then I've got something to ask you.
Okay.
So they said that your name is Emil. Well, Emil, have you seen a girl around here with a red jewel on her forehead?
This was the girl from the opening scene in Palmacosta.
No, sir.
What are you so nervous about? Courage is the magic that turns dreams into reality.
Huh?
They're words a human with a few screws loose said long ago.
It is a heavy aphorism to drop on a young boy you just met.
When you refused to swear allegiance to Lloyd, didn't you feel courage welling up inside of you? Those who would grovel and beg, or run away at the first sight of another's anger, are dogs, or even worse. Are you a dog? Or are you really a man?
I'm...
Just try to do your best to be a man, Emil.
This is also a nice counterpoint to starting
Courage.
out.
The magic that turns dreams into reality.
We start out Tales of Symphonia with Lloyd, who is like, you know, the most outspoken guy in the world in terms of saying what he wants and working for it. And now we have
I'm not a monster. I need to stand up like a human being.
got like the antithesis of this in Emil, who needs to like bully himself into having just the basic capacity to stand for himself and speak with others and basically get anything done in his life.
That guy was really amazing.
Ooh, we have voiced skits now.
Are you really a man? I could never say anything like that to someone.
The Tales games are
He
growing
got
up.
Angry at me. Wait, maybe I should have gotten angry at him.
This is also a very different vibe because we start out with just a single character in our party, so we get access to a lot more of his interiority right away, whereas we were partied up in Tales of Symphonia from the very first screen, consistent with the theming and just mode of engagement with that game more broadly.
Sounds like it's coming from the lake bed. What should I do? I want to know what it is, but I'd be leaving town to go down there. Aunt Flora will get mad if I leave without permission.
Yeah, and only 5 years later, right? I mean, I guess in game development time, that was like a whole different era in the late aughts versus early aughts, but I was surprised. Like I said last stream, I think I was guessing like 2011, 2012, because it felt like sort of a 10-year jump in terms of just the different styles. But yeah, they definitely tried to do something different with this one.
What could it be?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially like the original rendition of Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii. That was also the Wii. I think that was 2011, so that was a few years after this, but I would say contemporaneous.
Why do I feel like monsters are calling me? It's because of stuff like this that make people say it's my fault that monsters keep appearing. I've got to ignore it. It's just my imagination. But it's so hard to ignore.
Oh, Emil. Things in a JRPG are never just your imagination. Unless your imagination is a metaphysical god arbitrating over the universe. But you don't find that out until hour, like, 65.
What is it? Is something wrong?
Uncle Abba.
What do you want? Get the hell out of here, you little nuisance.
I'm
I
sorry.
fucking hate you.
Always getting in the way. Just go home and stay out of trouble. Just the sight of you puts the whole town in distress. Forget about the Vanguard-loving Brad Alba. Did something happen?
Boy, he's also got kind of a Sin Eater vibe, Emil, right? Like everyone's just blaming him for everything that is wrong with the world and their village and their lives.
Monsters I've never seen before showed up in Lake Sanoa's lake bed. Several members of the City Watch are down. What? I'm going to gather reinforcements. Go tell the mayor what happened. Right.
Oh, also, if I didn't mention this howl that Emil keeps hearing, was identified in that opening scene in the burning Palmacosta by the girl whom we encountered there as Tenebrae's howl. So we don't know who Tenebrae is, but this is presumably the same creature responsible for this now.
That howl again. If I go now, I could make it down to the lake bed. But everyone will get mad at me.
Those who would grovel and beg, or run away at the first sight of another's anger, are dogs, or even worse.
I'll go. I'm not a dog. I'm a human being. If I want to go to the Sonoa lake bed, I need to leave town. I've never gone outside town on my own. I wonder if I'll be all right. Mom, please make sure I don't run into any monsters.
Oh, also, I forget how relevant this is, but when the red-haired gentleman was talking about the girl with the jewel on her forehead, so like I said in the opening scene, there was this girl with this red gem, and she asked for the help of Ratatosk in saving her from these people who were attacking her, and then when she came to after she passed out, the jewel appeared to be gone, and she had what almost looked like the same jewel or fragments of it, like, embedded in her forehead. So that's where we're kind of drawing the inference that that's what this new guy is talking about. Ooh, we got a very different world map right away. Not the kind of thing that you navigate and face random encounters in, I guess. It's all just location, point, and travel based. Kind of fast travel to the max. I guess we're going. Oh, although, can I save yet? I should probably save if I can. To the cave!
What should I do? I've made it this far, but...
Oh no, I'm wildly unprepared!
Stop it!
Oh, brother can't even hold the sword. It's interesting how they throw you right into a battle with no tutorial or explanation for any of like the symbols on the HUD or anything like that.
I don't want to die like this. Get away from me.
Watch out!
Oh, that's the girl from Palmacosta.
It's not over yet. Are you gonna fight with me or run? Come on, you're a man. Speak up.
At the very least, don't be a dog.
Courage is the magic that turns dreams into reality.
We're leaning into the flashback sequences.
Their words, a human with a few screws loose said long ago. When you refused to swear allegiance to Lloyd, didn't you feel courage welling up inside of you?
I'll fight.
Okay, then I'll leave the front line to you.
Pretty interesting and impactful, too, that cornerstone dialogue with that stranger that we keep going back to is all centered on how Emil refused to swear allegiance to Lloyd, which, again, was a totally optional reaction. Like, we had the option of either having him choose swear allegiance to Lloyd or rejecting that. So it already seems as if our choices have had an impact on things. Do I have techs? Can I even check? Oh, please, sir, may I have even one tech? Mysterious girl, why would you ever leave the front line to this boy? We have health bars overhead for the enemies too, that's new.
There, good work. It's pretty dangerous here, so you should probably get going. Hey, it's you!
Huh? What do you mean?
You don't remember me, do you? Maybe I'm wrong, but you look just like him.
What are you talking about?
It's nothing, never mind, I'm sorry. Anyway, you should leave here as soon as you can, okay?
Wait a minute!
Yes, what is it? I'm in a hurry.
I wanted to thank you for saving me. My name's Emil. So, what's your name?
I'm Marta. Is that it?
If it's dangerous here, then maybe you should leave too.
If things get dangerous, will you save me again?
But you were the one who was kind enough to save me.
Oh, that's not what she was talking about.
You don't remember, do you?
She was talking about back in Palma
I'm
Costa.
sorry to confuse you, but I really have to get going. Take care of yourself, Emil.
Oh, that's the jewel.
A red jewel on her forehead.
So they said that your name is Emil. Well, Emil, have you seen a girl around here with a red jewel on her forehead?
Maybe Marta is the girl with the jewel that man was looking for. I should probably let him know.
I don't remember the name of the guy who voices Emil, but just the degree of weakness and timidity he lends to his voice is really impressive, I think. Especially for this style of game, there's a lot of subtlety there.
I wonder if that guy is still in town. He'll probably be happy if I tell him about that girl Marta. It's strange, though. She seemed like she knew me. Have I met her before? I think I'd remember a cute girl like her. She must be confusing me with someone else. Yeah, must be.
I love a lot of new icons in the skits to convey what characters are feeling or what they're thinking about, too. Interesting. Her name is Marta, and I was thinking her outfit and just overall style reminded me a little bit of Martel and Tabitha, and by extension Martel again. I wonder if there's a connection there. I guess we have to go home to tell the mysterious red-haired gentleman that we found the girl.
You little... What are you doing here?
I'm sorry.
You just have to go out of your way to cause trouble.
I know. It's their world, though, and we've already seen Lloyd, so I have a feeling we don't have to worry about getting too estranged from them.
Thanks to your little grudge against Lloyd the Great, there are rumors that our family's secretly supporting the Vanguard. Go home and keep your mouth shut. When I get home, so help me.
Nobody likes me, everybody hates me, guess I'll go eat worms. Oh, that's cool though. I didn't even take the time to look at the world map now that it's a whole new world. But yeah, even that far out, it's like you can see the way that Tethayal and Silveron fuse together. Like, why does it say grab? Can we? Oh, we can pull the map! Oh, look at that! Yeah, so we got the frozen continent, presumably where Flanor was. We've got... What was this up where, like the Isle of Cats was? Or maybe the Temple of Lightning? Or the Hot Springs? Tethayalan features, but then this looks like maybe the desert, like Triet from Silverant. Got some mountains. Okay, well, I'm sure we'll have plenty of opportunities to explore, but that is very cool to be able to finally look upon the new world.
What should I do? Uncle Appa was really angry. I wonder if he'll hit me again. What should I do? I'm scared. I really should have just ignored that monster's howl. If only Lloyd hadn't attacked Paul Macosta, I wouldn't be going through all this.
Boy, that's an interesting conversation with the first game, too. Like, you might recall, we spent the first, I think, several streams of Tales of Symphonia talking about the very, like, laissez attitude towards people hitting one another, whether that was, like, Rain slapping the crap out of Genus or Lloyd, or there were other examples, too. Well, the designs, obviously, like whipping marble and things like that. And now to open on this terrified, meek, mild-mannered kid who's, like, in a very real way scared that his uncle and caretaker is gonna beat him up when he gets home. Like, that's kind of a sobering and almost more realistic look at it. Where is the mysterious gentleman? Oh, he's gone. Maybe we have to go back to the aunt and uncle's house. Ah, yes. Now we've evolved to the stage of development in these games where we have full heal save points, which make a huge difference in the workflow of getting through a dungeon. I think my answer to that has to be you'll see. I think in a nutshell, and to kind of like sort of have the basis for this stream set out, one thing that I think is fair to say, no matter what side of the fence you sit on, is that this game, in terms of its storytelling and the gameplay and sort of just how you engage with it and what it wants to express, is markedly different than Tales of Symphonia. And so I think, especially with a game that was so beloved as the original Tales of Symphonia, people were expecting something that would be kind of contiguous with it in terms of theme and the kind of party you have and just all the reasons that you love the original. This is contiguous in terms of picking up on and following the same world, but the story that it wants to tell, at least to the best of my recollection, is very different. But that's one of the reasons I wanted to revisit it, is that especially as an adult and having gotten so much further into the study of games now, I want to approach it with the perspective of asking, okay, how is it in dialogue with the first game, and what do we think about that through kind of a critical lens? But I mean, you've already been picking up on some of the stuff in just these first motions. Like, you can feel it's a very different game, right? Like, the kind of story it's telling and even our lens into it It feels pretty different from the get-go, I would say. Okay, so we weren't supposed to go home. Maybe that mystery red-headed fella is hanging out by the fountain then. No, not here. Looking for the mayor. Okay. We all hate you, buddy. Just so much. Found you.
Emil.
Oh, do you already know Richter?
Well...
I asked him earlier if he knew of Marta's whereabouts.
Ah, I see.
Richter?
What is it?
Well, the girl with the red jewel on her forehead,
You saw Marta?
Yes, well, you see...
Richter is very excited about this development.
Where?
Jesus Christ.
Just calm down and try to explain what you saw.
He's telling Emil to calm down. Emil, relax while Richter violently shakes you for information, please.
Lake Sanoa, where the monsters come out, just before...
Enough! Mayor, I'd like to take him with me. Can I count on you to take me to where you saw Marta?
Yes?
He certainly is determined. Take him to where you saw the girl. Just be careful of monsters, all right?
Alright, I'm realizing now that because this is the one thing consistent in my streams, I forgot to plug in my computer, so I'm going to do that now so we don't accidentally bifurcate the stream into two different streams like we did last time. And I'm sorry about that, by the way. I hope it didn't screw anyone up. But they are both on YouTube now for anyone who wants to watch them after the fact. Properly numbered. Alright, now we're cooking with gas. I would say it's probably a combination of just you and the fact that he is also a mysterious redhead introduced early in the game, which is certainly a point of comparison. But having heard Kratos right in the introduction, I would say they do have distinct voices. I'm also biased because Kratos' voice acting is some of my favorite and like my source code for just voices of characters that were really impactful to me as a kid, so I probably don't have the clearest lens when it comes to answering that question.
I'm ready now. I'm sorry to keep you waiting.
You apologize too much. Of course, if you want to become a dog, I won't stop you.
I'm sorry. Oh. Sorry.
Stop apologizing. Anyway, I'm sorry for yelling at you earlier. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and take me to where you saw Marta.
Richter is with us now. Oh, he is much more experienced than we are. JRPG trope I never get tired of. Seasoned characters joining the party early on. He's got seasons-based attacks. Interesting. Oh no! I accidentally skipped the skit. My Wii nunchuck is more sensitive than I remembered from, like, 7 years ago. Even then, it's probably been longer than 7 years since I played the Wii last. I fired it up, and the disc in it was, speaking of Pokemon from our last few streams, Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness. And I cannot for the life of me tell you the last time I opened up that game or why that was.
You came back again? What's wrong with you, you demonic little brat?
A friend of the Vanguard indeed. He may be your nephew, but you sure took in a real pest.
I'm sorry.
The mayor's given his permission for Emil to accompany me. Step aside.
The mayor? But... Move!
The opposite of Emil.
What are you waiting for? Come on, let's go.
Oh, wait! There are monsters in there!
Yes, and?
I'm telling you, it's dangerous. You can go if you want, but leave him here with us.
Didn't you just call him a demonic little brat? Emil, what do you want to do?
Emil, you stay with us!
Make up your mind. Even dogs can think for themselves.
Come on, you're a man. Speak up.
Who the hell does he think he is? Come on, let's go.
I'm going with them.
Emil!
I'm going! Richter.
Let's go.
Huh?
Aren't you coming with me?
Yes.
Don't get in my way. You're responsible for protecting yourself. I'll bail you out if things get too tough.
Okay.
This is also antithetical to Tales of Symphonia because we start out in Tales of Symphonia with a very clear conception of what the quest is and why. We've got to go on this journey of regeneration and help Colette, and she receives the Oracle, and yada, yada, yada. And we're thrown in on the deep end here of knowing that there's chaos in the world, but also having chaos in the story where we're just with this boy who feels lost, and he's kind of feeling his way through a day as everything transpires around him.
Alba really laid into you. Why didn't you say anything back?
I'm sorry.
You were like that with the kids in town as well. Bullies like that will never leave you alone if you don't stand up to them. Do you understand? Nothing will change if you just take it.
I'm sorry.
What did I say about over-apologizing?
Oh, right.
I'm not blaming you. You're free to do as you choose. Just don't be so submissive all the time. Have more respect for yourself.
I can't tell if Richter's a nice guy or not.
I would say yes. Yes, nice guy.
Emil, you fought monsters before, I assume.
Huh? I mean, well...
That's cool, the echo effect that they put on the voices in these caverns.
Don't tell me you haven't.
I... only a little.
So, then you have.
Twice, I think.
You think? This one should do fine.
A monster? Richter, what should I do?
Stop panicking, for one. Children hunt monsters like this for fun.
But I...
Relax. I'll give you instructions.
Okay.
Mortal Summer! Mortal Summer!
Boy, even the body language that they put into Emil in battle of how, like, afraid and reluctant he is. It's a really thoughtful touch.
Mortal Summer! Enduring Summer! Mortal Summer!
Free run! I love it. I can't believe that we didn't have that in Tales of Symphonia. I completely blocked that from my memory.
Mortal Summer!
Such a big part of the combat system in the later games.
Mortal Summer!
Is that all?
I'm sorry.
I'm talking about the monster.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Emil. No, I was looking at the camera, kid. It was supposed to be a cool guy victory thing.
What was that?
It's called an art. You learn them the more you fight and develop your skills.
Even I can learn them?
You will in time. So, now do you understand how to fight?
I think so.
Don't worry. I told you, I'll back you up. I'm the one who asked for your help. I won't let anything happen to you.
Okay.
That's also antithetical, especially if you're thinking about mysterious red-headed fellows who show up at the beginning of these games, because Kratos was posing as a mercenary and coming along on the Chosen's journey, whereas Richter is bringing Emil along on his own mission for his own ends, which we don't even know about.
What is it?
Why are you looking for Marta?
Is that something you need to know in order to live?
Wow. High stakes for asking a basic question.
No. I was just wondering.
I have no need to satisfy your idle curiosity.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize so excessively. I'm often accused of being short with people. I don't intend to change my ways, but it doesn't mean I have anything against you.
Thank you.
That's not something you need to thank me for.
Oh, sorry.
Give up the ghost, Richter. You tried.
Emil, stop! Pay attention. You almost walked right into a monster.
Sorry.
If you touch any monster you see walking around, you'll have to fight them. Got it? If you stumble into an enemy, as you almost did just now, they're likely to get the upper hand and attack you from behind.
Now we get advantageous and disadvantageous encounters. Another hallmark of the series that we missed in Symphonia.
So the way you run into monsters makes a difference?
That's right. Attacking an enemy from behind works out in your favor, but if they get behind you, they'll have the advantage. It's the same for both fighting and fleeing. Be aware of the enemy's direction and movements. Failing to do so can get you killed.
Okay, I understand.
And one more thing. I can't have you wandering in a daze like that again, so listen. It's not that I didn't appreciate your words of gratitude. I simply feel there's no need to give more thanks or apologies than the situation calls for.
All right.
We must express ourselves to convey our feelings to others. However, I feel emotions lose their strength once they're put into words. So I prefer to speak only what is absolutely necessary. That's all.
Okay.
This is the first time I've ever had to explain this much to anyone.
Pretty intense levels of heart-to-hearts and explaining your philosophy of life for strangers who have just met.
Too easy. Mortal Summer!
Oh, healing power. First aid.
I won?
Barely, buddy. Barely, but we made it. Gotta love enemies hitting Emil for like a third of his health at a time and Richter for 1 damage.
Defeat them! Enduring Summer! Mortal Summer!
Is that all?
I'm sorry.
I'm talking about.
It's truly not even worth it for Emil to attack because Richter deals so much more damage than he does. If only there were a way to burn it.
Master Richter!
These are interesting seals on these doors too. I'm trying to think of symbology from the last game that would match this, but coming up empty.
What was that?
Probably just a monster. Don't worry about it.
Of course I'm gonna worry.
All the monsters know my name. I'm very famous among the monsters.
Then you can wait here.
What about you?
There's a monster in there. Probably a strong one. Wait here until I take it out.
But
You'll just get in the way. Stay here.
Okay. I'm just not cut out for this sort of thing. Was that Marta? What should I do?
If things get dangerous, will you save me again?
I don't know anything about her. I can't just ignore it.
You also don't know anything about Richter, and we're more than happy to follow him along, so I don't feel like that's a strong threshold for you, Emil. Definitely missing the remastered load times, by the way.
Ratatosk's core on your forehead.
Oh, like the Ratatosk she invoked to save herself in Palmacosta.
No.
Then I'll just have to destroy it along with you.
Stop! Stop it, please! Richter, what are you doing?
I thought I told you to wait on the other side of the door.
This is why you were looking for her? So you could kill her?
That's right.
Why?
Because she is trying to awaken Ratatosk, the Demon Lord.
Demon Lord? What are you talking about?
I agree. It's quite a foolish name, but Demon Lord is the most appropriate term to describe what he is.
I mean, Richter, you're also talking to people who spent an entire stream adventuring through a forbidden book in order to hunt demons, so... I mean, foolish is relative.
If Ratatosk awakens, the world will be destroyed.
No, you're wrong! Ratatosk is not a demon! He's the lord of all monsters! He won't destroy the world!
I'm not interested in semantics.
Oh, man. I don't know if we know enough to pick a side at this point. I know... Do you have views on this? I guess if I were thinking through this knowing nothing else about the story, I guess I would think, especially since we saw that opening scene of what looked like Emil saving Marta, and she called on him to save her again if things come to it, I guess my impulse would be to side with Marta over Richter. Which I guess is probably what the game is assuming would be the case too, since Stop Richter is the default option, like we talked about with default options in Symphonia before this. Alright. I want to know if you would reason in the same way, but I'm going to go with stopping Richter.
What are you doing? Step aside.
No!
Move!
I'm not a dog. That's why I'm gonna make my own decisions.
Emil.
Thank you.
I don't want to kill you. Move!
No, I'm clearly still thinking about that comment you made. I think it's really illustrative of a lot of what the game wants us to think about. Not even in terms of it always being the right choice, but just in terms of how they want you to think about what the assumed option is in the world, or the status quo, versus what you can affect as change, whether that's changes the player or changes the party.
I don't really understand what you two are talking about, but you can't do things like this. If you just talk this over...
I thought I told you not to get in my way. Aqua, show yourself.
You called, Master Richter?
Oh, that was the voice from before.
Take care of the boy. Just don't overdo it.
The talking monster?
Who are you calling a monster, you human? I am a Centurion. Centurion Aqua.
Oh, we got a new type of thing to keep track of.
Now then, my cute little minion. Remove the boy from our presence.
Wow, so Richter delegated to Aqua, who delegated to Giant Sea Turtle. Now that is an efficient organization.
What was that? I won't be able to catch up with Richter with that thing in the way.
You must forge a pact.
Oh, and we've got the same summon spirit track as we did in the original. That's a great piece of music.
Huh? Another talking monster?
I am not a beast. I too am a Centurion. Centurion Tenebrae.
Oh, Tenebrae, the one who's been howling.
Centurion Tenebrae?
You could never defeat the monster on the other side of this door as you are now. Forge a pact to become a knight of Ratatosk.
But Ratatosk is the demon lord?
Then you will be able to accept Lord Ratatosk's power in battle.
What do you mean?
There is no time to explain. Lady Marta is in danger.
Okay, but maybe we should stop and consider a little bit before doing something like forming a pact.
But, I mean, you're just a monster, a Centurion. I mean, and I don't know if... That howl. Were you the one calling me?
Lady Marta was looking for you. You saved her life and she has chosen you to be a knight.
Me?
Now forge the pact.
Well, now this is interesting since we have default menu options in our head already, because I feel like at least what the game is messaging as the next thing to do to progress is forging the pact, but that's not the default option. It's like we need to deviate in order to progress the story. Ooh, I'm interested.
I'll make the pact.
Understood. Emil, I command you, unleash the power within yourself. Awaken, Hunter of Evil!
I think that, you know, as things from the first game
Tenebrae, what are you doing here?
that are, you know, relevant come up, there'll be reminders or pieces that's situated in context. But I do think, because I mean it's kind of the perfect game for that, right? Because it's the new world that was created from the two worlds before, and so I think there's that idea of the history that came before the world in the previous age, but it also is all in a new context. So I mean, I think we're definitely served well by having just played the first game, and my feeling is probably that since I originally played this game without playing the first one immediately before it, there's probably stuff that I missed out on that'll make more sense to me now. But I think it's certainly something where you could pick up the context clues as you go and be satisfied with it. I'm not sure if that's quite what you were asking.
Let's go.
What? You want to fight? You're gonna regret this.
The only one who's gonna regret this is you.
Ooh, he sounds more confident suddenly.
Now come on!
Oh my god, he can actually fight now. I had to pause this to read your comment because I'm trying to think through it at the same time. Yeah, could you say more? I don't totally know what you mean by that, but I'm interested. Oh, you can heal this, gross.
Should have never gone against me.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, that is literally the opposite of how I think about any kind of decision making in video games. But I see what you mean. Yes, for making sure people don't actually accidentally skip over something. I can totally appreciate the pragmatism of that. That's not how I read the schematization of those options, though. I don't know about that. I mean, I think they're two very different perspectives to have on something like the design of those choices, right? One is more of like almost like breaking up paragraphs or using like a certain style of text in a book to make it more like literally readable, whereas the other is, okay, if we look at this as part of the story and how it contributes to the overall tapestry of what we're experiencing, what can it say about sort of the world and universe of options that's presented and the role in which it's casting the player? I think those two things are, they can coexist. They might imply different options as the right ones to represent in any given situation, but then we just have a case of kind of, well, I hate to use the term ludonarrative dissonance because I think it's so overused to be kind of vacuous or uninformative, but something dissonant in terms of the difference between like practical engagement with the work and the narrative that it's expressing.
What just happened?
Lord Ratatosk's power took hold of you.
And your voice dropped like 5 octaves, but now it's back to normal.
It felt like I became someone else.
Yes, that was Lord Ratatosk's power.
I'm not quite sure I understand. Anyway, what happened to Aqua? I didn't even touch her.
Centurions themselves do not fight. They employ monster servants to battle in their place. If their monsters are defeated, the Centurion's power will also fade. Right now, she is only unconscious.
Oh, that's good. I didn't want to hurt her.
Come, we must go after Lady Marta.
Did I learn something just now?
It appears you've acquired a skill.
A skill?
Yes, a special technique for battle. Skills are acquired by meeting certain requirements. Everyone has their own set of skills they can learn. Once learned, you can set which skills to use from the skill screen on the menu.
A little more naturalistic of an answer to the EX gem skill development that we had in the original game.
Select whatever skills you think will be the most useful. However, the number of skills you can equip at one time is limited. The total points of all selected skills cannot exceed a character's skill point limit.
Oh, you're calling people characters inside the fiction. That's... we're too early in the game to know whether that's really smart and challengingly meta or just a weird and uncomfortable oversight.
So think carefully when setting your skills.
But it's something to keep an eye on.
Do you understand?
Yeah, sort of.
Do you really?
No.
I've got it, I think.
I'm trying, man.
This should be an interesting journey.
What's the opposite of destined savior of the world?
I wonder if I can do this.
You can. I have every confidence that you can save Lady Marta. You must believe in your powers as a Knight of Ratatosk.
But
Humans have a saying, seeing is believing.
I don't think that exactly applies here. Anyway, thanks, Tenebrae. I'll give it my best shot.
He reminds me a little of Tenebrae. I mean, he reminds me a bit of that Adventure Time character. I forget the name, but the like suspicious cat who has an approximate knowledge of many things. Kind of the same energy. Where are his skills? Oh, he's been given the strength to protect himself through the pact. It's an interesting description. A very different kind of pact than the pacts that Sheena made to protect the world and kind of extend herself for the sake of others. Where are the skills? Oh, there they are. They were hiding. Nice! Recover. A classic skill. Something that was built in the last game, but that's okay.
It won't open.
Richter must have sealed it off.
Then, what should we do?
I feel a draft. There must be another passage somewhere. Perhaps you should use the Sorcerer's Ring to examine the walls.
What's that?
There, on your finger.
Huh?
That ring was given to you by Lord Ratatosk as a symbol of your pact. Magical power dwells within it.
But I'm a human. Only elves and half-elves can use magic.
Don't worry, that ring can be used by humans as well.
Sort of like the ring that was fashioned by Zealous to give Lloyd the ability to use the Eternal Sword back in the final motions of Symphonia's plot.
Really? I guess I'll try it out.
Oh yeah, we have motion controls. That's what I was afraid of. Well, hopefully we'll be able to make it work. I was finding it to be a little finicky earlier with the motion sensor at this close range that I'm working with, but we'll figure it out. So we've gone from the ring being like an artifact of the Church of Martel and the Chosen's journey of regeneration to being the symbol of the pact with the King of Monsters.
So, Tenebrae, somewhere along the way I got all new clothes.
I'm glad we're talking about
finally
this.
Noticed. I've been wondering when you would bring it up.
I noticed right away. Just never seemed like a good time to ask.
Along with the Sorcerer's Ring, those clothes are a symbol of your pact with Lord Ratatosk. It's vital that a Knight of Ratatosk present himself with a certain degree of elegance.
Right.
The outfit's fabric is prepared with a number of special incantations and hexes that make the garment waterproof, wrinkle-free, and mold-resistant. The design is meant to evoke Lord Ratatosk's fierce bravery and his subtle grace. The effect is mesmerizing.
Wait a sec. One other question.
Yes?
What happened to the clothes I was wearing before?
That is the darkness... I'm sorry. Forget I said anything.
The darkness is
What?
Hey, come on! And Flora's gonna skin me alive if I lose those clothes.
Knowing her, that might not be a figure of speech. Okay, and see, I'd completely forgotten about that, but that, as much as anything, makes me very happy that we took the time to do those, like, costume side quests in Symphonia, because now you understand, if you watch that stream and have a bit of context for how central, like, alternative outfits are to just the way the characters are represented and the abilities and accolades that they earn throughout their journeys. So otherwise, the focus on clothes and outfit as a symbol of the pact would be a bit of a non sequitur and sillier than it needs to be, but it actually does make sense within the broader context of the world and how the characters engage with it. Alright, let's see if I can do this. Oh, that's not so bad, actually. We can make that work. I hope there's one of those accelerated motion skills like we got in Symphonia, because this dude walks slowly right now.
An imp. It will do nicely. Let us forge a pact.
Pact?
Your power as a Knight of Ratatosk is granted to you by Lord Ratatosk himself. However, he is currently in a deep slumber. As a result, the power he grants you is very weak.
This is weak? No way.
Lord Ratatosk is very powerful. As you gain experience and grow your abilities, it's crucial you continue to unlock more of his strength.
But how am I supposed to do that?
It's simple. We Centurions share a bond with Lord Ratatosk. If power is restored to the Centurions, Lord Ratatosk's strength will return as well. We can accomplish this by forging pacts with monsters.
How does that work?
As I explained earlier, Centurions do not engage in battle themselves. We use monsters under our control. A Centurion's power depends on the number and strength of the monsters it employs. I am the Centurion of Darkness, so any pact you make with dark elemental monsters will bring them under my control and make me more powerful in the process.
So the more monsters I get on my side, the stronger I'll become?
That's correct.
But how do I make a pact?
Like this.
What are you doing?
In order to make a pact, you must first prove you are more powerful than your opponent. You must force them to yield to you in battle.
Wait, so I forgot how sort of rigidly hierarchical this is. We have like Ratatosk and then the Centurions that serve him and the monsters that serve the Centurions, and we have like the pact that Emil has forged with Tenebrae, right? And Ratatosk? And then Tenebrae is able to form pacts with monsters. Like, there are a lot of organizational levels, whereas we just had the summon spirits who are individually linked to summon spirits in the other worlds in the last game. And I guess we had Origin and Maxwell as kind of another order of summon spirit. So still some hierarchy, but not to this extent.
You didn't tell me I'd have to fight.
I just did. Ah, it approaches.
That's okay. You're now super cool when you go into battle because of Ratatosk.
Wait!
Already this feels much more complicated than battle in Symphonia. Okay. I get that elemental balances were a big conceptual part of the last game too, but regimenting them into a mechanic like this takes it to a whole other level. But if you're trying to extend the narrative implications of one game in a sequel, that takes it further. Seems like a pretty reasonable way to do it.
Damn it!
At least make it challenging.
Gotta pack 'em all, gotta pack 'em all. Ratatosk. I warned you the Pokemon jokes would be coming.
Well done. You have made the imp your ally.
Hey, Aqua is a Centurion too, right? Will I get stronger if she has more monsters under her control?
No. Aqua has chosen to sever her bond with Lord Ratatosk. As such, even if she acquires more monster servants, your powers will not increase.
But there are other Centurions, right?
Yes, you will learn about the others in due time. But you may enter into pacts with monsters without the Centurion of the same element. Later, when you befriend the appropriate Centurions, your strength will increase accordingly.
That's nice and everything, but I only became a Knight of Ratatosk because I needed to fight now. I'm not really interested in getting any stronger than this.
Yeah, that's true. Tenebrae seems to be teaching him a lot for long-term training and reasons we don't really understand, for Emil just having this one immediate purpose of trying to save Marta.
Now, there's no harm in arming yourself with a little information. Also, to make pacts, you will need the pact magic appropriate for each monster.
Really?
Yes, when you have subdued a monster that you wish to make your ally, I will cast the pact magic.
I'm not sure I understand, so I'll leave it to you.
That's fine. Ah, now there's a wolf. Just what we're looking for. Try making a pact with him.
The real question to break your brains over the course of this playthrough to come is Tenebrae a dog or a cat?
But I just made a pact with a monster!
Yes, but I'll teach you a way to make forming pacts easier.
There's an easier way?
Yes, you can make monsters under your control fight beside you. If your ally and the enemy are compatible, the pact will go more smoothly. Add the imp you gain to your combat roster, and then try fighting the wolf.
Okay.
Alright, let's do it.
It's over! It's over! It's over!
At least make it challenging.
Whoa, we got a whole lot of grid for that. Jesus. Yeah, there's the imp helping out. Everybody's friends.
Well done. Now the wolf has also become our ally.
Why is making packs easier depending on the monster you have fighting with you?
Monsters have compatibility with each other. The type and strength of the monsters you befriend also have an effect on pacts. Make sure to experiment with this yourself.
This is interesting too, because I mean, we don't really know the answers to this yet, but remember there were so many monsters in Tales of Symphonia with basically no explanation in terms of their ontology, except that they appear in the declining world. And now we have this regimented relationship between them and elements and centurions who govern them. Not sure how summon spirits fit into that, but Ratatosk is, I think, a summon spirit, right? So there's some relationship there too, raising the question of whether monsters always worked that way and we just didn't know about it in Symphonia, or if there was something about the healing and reunification of the world that also reordered its natural life and the way its mana flows between elements in some new way. You go, little wolf buddy.
It's over.
Ooh, got some volcano action going on that time.
At least make it challenging.
Moving on up. Havoc Strike. That's a skill in my short-term memory from Tales of the Abyss. I think maybe Regal also knew a version of it in Symphonia, actually. I can hear him shouting Havoc Strike in my head.
That monster joined us?
Bravo!
Huh?
Beautiful, fantastic, simply excellent. I must admit I am quite impressed.
Really?
Of course that monster is ideal for beginners. I would be rather concerned if you had failed.
Come on, man. Let us have this. We are beginners. I guess, in hindsight, I should be thankful for the point and click of the Sorcerer's Ring, considering how much trouble I had orienting the character in the appropriate way to get the ring to go where I wanted it to in Tales of Symphonia.
This may lead to where we need to go. Let's proceed.
Okay.
Ooh, we got the jump on them. I wasn't even trying to do that. Oh no! I wasn't keeping track of their HP! Oh, that's brutal. I forgot that since he's the only human character in the party, the monsters can't use a life bottle on him. Oh, that kind of sucks. Hopefully that didn't kick us too far back. What level is he at? Yeah, 3. Okay. I don't think we went that far back.
Ah, an imp. How? As
This?
Alright, well, it wouldn't be a With a Terrible Fate stream without
as I
dying unexpectedly way too early in a situation where we shouldn't have died. It's out of our system now. The rest of the playthrough will be flawless. Just because the hierarchies are so complicated, I wanted to give us an excuse to go through it again. Man, I wish there were a way to accelerate these tutorials.
Of course I won.
Alright, let's try this again.
well done.
Hey, well,
Yes. Later.
that's...
Now. Oh. Yes. Ah. Yeah.
There's...
Yeah. If you add.
Oh.
It's over! It's over! Demon Fang! Demon Fang!
Of course I won.
Well done. Now.
What?
Mon. Make.
Okay, now this time, we'll watch our health as we go through these fights. I hear that's important.
guess I won. It's over! At least make it challenging.
The wall open! Okay.
It's really leaning into player choice, not just the dialogue choices, but I mean, even asking you to confirm when you want to press a switch, as opposed to just having a like one button to press and the avatar automatically pushes the switch. It seems like a small thing, but they didn't have to do that. Most games wouldn't.
You're too weak.
Monster got a skill. Thought the skills were maybe just for people. Very cool. Right, I'm gonna quickly go back and save at the save point we know we have. Just in case anything nuts like that happens again.
Richter! Hang on. How did this...
I was careless.
Huh?
Lloyd Irving. He...
Lloyd? You mean the servant of the Chosen of Regeneration?
The one and only.
The core. He...
Richter!
It's all right. The attack missed his vital organs.
So he'll survive?
Yes, just leave him here and he will be fine. It is more important to go after Lady Marta.
Leave him here? We can't do that. We need to at least tell someone.
There's no time. Now that Lloyd has appeared, time is of the essence. Lady Marta's life is in grave danger. After all, this man is the enemy. Didn't you come here to protect her?
I did, but I can't just leave him like this. Richter said some mean things, but he also helped me. Can't just abandon him now. Go on ahead and find Marta. I'll follow you as soon as I can.
I believe you will regret this decision, but it is yours to make.
Damn, Lloyd. How could he do that to Richter? First he took my mother and father from me, and now he's hurt Richter. I won't let him get away with this! Aqua, you have to come with me.
Huh? You expect me to just go with you after what happened?
That doesn't matter right now. Richter's been hurt badly. Lloyd attacked him and...
What? Lloyd?
I think he'll live, but I'm still worried. Hurry and help him.
You came back to tell me that? You're not half bad. Nowhere near as cool as Master Richter, but still...
I mean, that's a tall order to be that cool.
Just come!
Master Richter!
Aqua, how is he?
He'll be fine. He took a sword to the back, but that's not the reason he collapsed. It's the wound from 2 years ago.
What happened?
If you weren't my enemy, I tell you.
Oh, didn't mean to skip that line.
All right, time to find Marta. Lloyd's after her. I better hurry.
She just said to leave Master Richter to her if you missed that text that I accidentally skipped. My hands are too fidgety on these Wiimotes that I haven't used in forever. One of those healing save circles. I'm sensing a confrontation. Alright, let's do it. The different proportions of Lloyd are hard to get used to also.
Lloyd Irving, why are you here?
After the character models of Symphonia.
Who are you?
Why did you kill them?
Emil!
My mother and my father, and all those people in Palmacosta. Why did you have to kill all of them?
Not again. With Palmacosta.
How dare you say that? What do you mean again? I'll never forgive you for that!
Oh, it's on. Versus Lloyd? Oh no. Oh Jesus.
Careless.
Wow. That was no contest. Looks like it was supposed to be no contest though.
I'm alive.
I guess he decided not to kill us.
Lady Marta, Centurion Lumen's core is...
It's gone!
Are you talking about a white jewel? I think that Lloyd took it with him.
He took it? Are you sure?
Yeah. Was it important?
Yes. Centurion Lumen's core is essential to our journey. Lady Marta, let's hurry. You and I must go after them.
Okay, but first... Thank you so much, Emil. I really appreciate you saving me once again.
I didn't do anything. I mean, I was pretty much useless.
But you did save me. You became a knight of Ratatosk. That's why you were able to save me, right? I always thought that you would make a wonderful knight. It's true. That's what I thought ever since the first time we met.
You what?
It's okay. I guess that it just wasn't as memorable for you. But honestly, I'm very grateful to you for saving me. What would I have done without you?
Lady Marta, we must hurry.
Yes, you're right. Emil? Would you help us? Just until we make it out of this place?
Sure. Marta is kind of a strange girl.
But then again, Emil, you're kind of a strange guy.
What's this?
It looks like the mask that Lloyd was wearing.
It's pretty tacky.
Super tacky.
Tacky, indeed.
If there's one thing Lloyd is known for, right? Tackiness. Is that a Lloyd wanted poster? Oh my god, it is. I wish there were a way to zoom in on it. That's definitely the hilarious caricature of Lloyd all the way from back in the day in Triet in Tales of Symphonia. Speaking of, things that you probably wouldn't be able to clock if you hadn't played the first one right before this. Oh, I wonder if we can destroy it with the Sorcerer's Ring. I keep forgetting we have that. Nope. Oh, it was worth a shot.
It appears the door has been sealed from the other side.
Damn! This must be Lloyd's doing. I'm sure he did this to trap us in here.
There is a draft. There must be another way out. Let's have a look around.
Oh, hilarious. So we just went there too soon. Let's try it again.
This is Lloyd's mask. It's probably inspired by that play, The Phantom of the Operetta.
You think so? It reminds me more of F for Feud.
Is that the one with the twin brothers where the one is king and at the end they switch places?
You're thinking of the man in the aluminum mask. How can you
Oh
get
no.
those two mixed up?
I have no idea what you two
Oh
are
no, it's a riff on the Man in the Iron Mask, and they most recently published a game that was directly actually inspired by the Man in the Iron Mask. Oh, what a new dimension that has taken on in 2023. And the others were the Phantom of the Opera and V for Vendetta, if anyone wants to keep talk of the name jokes.
Jewel Hunter Lloyd Irving is here. What's this?
Ugh, that jerk! Set it on fire!
Emil, burn it for her.
Burn it? Oh, you mean that?
I have to look up Emil's voice actor after this too. He sounds so familiar to me. For the life of me, I don't know where. There you go.
It opened!
Great! Now we can go search for Lloyd.
I am also a huge Phantom nerd. It's definitely the play I've seen most on Broadway. I think I've seen it certainly at least 3, maybe 4 or 5 times. It's a great time every time. Still cry.
But I'm only able to pick up a small trace of lumen. It may be too late to follow them.
No.
Is this Lumen's core really so valuable that you'd fight over it?
Oh, I guess a lot of this doesn't make sense to you.
Yep. Got it in one.
To put it simply, the Centurion's cores are the eggs of Centurions, like Tenebrae. Lumen's core is the egg of Centurion Lumen.
You might say that cores contain Centurions in hibernation.
And the core on my forehead is Ratatosk's core, and it's...
Oh, did it? I must have known that and just forgotten. Yeah. I mean, if there were ever anything to stay on Broadway indefinitely until the end of time, Phantom would be it for me.
The Demon Lord's egg?
I told you he's not a demon.
Perhaps we should take the time to explain all of this to Emil.
True, but let's get out of here first.
So, Marta, about this rat attacks?
It's Ratatosk, not Ratatosk.
Oh, right. So this rat attacks?
His name is Ratatosk.
Ratatax Day, April 18th in the
What's
US of
the
A.
difference? How rude.
Pay your ratataxes.
How would you feel if someone were to call you Emil?
Actually, my Emil is quite the combination of strength and servility.
Well played, Lady Marta. Well played.
So much for asking about Ratatosk.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the good thing is it's the kind of story and musical play that'll be running somewhere until the end of time.
Why do you think Lloyd is collecting Centurions?
It certainly has staying power.
He could be trying to exterminate anyone who resists the Church of Martel. I bet it's something like that.
That's why he's collecting them?
I don't know. But in Palmacosta...
Palmacosta?
Never mind. Anyway, he's teamed up with the Church of Martel to oppress the people of Silverant. So he must be gathering the cores for some lousy reason or another. It makes me want to scream! Lloyd stands for lousy with a capital L.
Yeah, and that second L in his name stands for loser.
Or even laudacious.
What does that mean?
Beats me.
Come on, man. Lloyd's the moral center of the universe. We supposed to be buying this?
Where are we?
Radiant mythology is like Dissidia, I believe, if I'm not confusing my titles. It's like a crossover game that sort of like blends the worlds of multiple games. So yes, I mean that's the right Tales. It's it ties in with the other ones.
Ah, of course. This is where the Tower of Mana used to be. Lloyd and his companions came here on their journey of world regeneration.
So it's a historical site for the Church of Martel.
Right. No wonder there are hidden passages. And of course, Lloyd would show up.
Oh, so Lloyd's friends in the Church of Martel guided him.
It's only a guess.
So it's like the Church of Martel has been built up into this specter of a big organization, but kind of no knowledge or understanding of Crucius and Mythos and what the half-elves were up to up in Darius Carlon and Welgaia have kind of been passed on to the New World, it seems like.
I'm unable to sense Lumen's presence. It appears that Lloyd has escaped.
I guess we'll go back to Lewin for now. That okay with you?
Everyone there hates me, but I do have cool threads now, so maybe they'll accept me.
Yeah.
Got this neat scarf.
I guess you want to die.
Are you talking about Emil's voice too? So I'm losing my mind over it. Like, that is the next thing I do after I finish the stream. I'm looking it up. Oh, Jesus Christ. Not making that mistake again. Oh, it's got more range than I thought.
Should have never gone against me.
Oh, hi there. Are you a voice actor savant? Okay, so I know the name, but you have to help me. Where do I know him from? Give me some of his other titles.
I guess you want to die. Move.
Hey, that's the equivalent of savant in my book. If you can be my remote Wikipedia expert while I'm gaming, then we all win.
That's it?
I never took the time to watch Bleach. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm sure I know the name, so I'm sure he's one of those guys that's just been in like a million JRPGs and works of anime. He's got the right voice for it. Okay, maybe I'm thinking of Persona 4. That might be it. Alright, back to Lewin.
Why don't we take a break here? It'll give us a chance to explain to you about Ratatosk.
Sure. I want to know what's going on.
All right, then. How much do you know about the world before its regeneration by the chosen Colette?
More than you might expect, my new friend, cat or dog that you may be. Oh, you're talking about Richter? Not from Tales of Symphonia, is that what you mean? I don't think that VA voiced anything in Symphonia. But you might be thinking of him from something else. He has a great voice too.
I know the basics.
Griorg, while you're doing wiki stuff, why don't you throw us the name of Richter's VA?
As you know, our world was divided into two by the will of the goddess Martel and the hero Mythos.
My hair is not red. My beard is red. I think my beard makes my hair look redder than it is. Yeah, where do I know my voice from? It sounds so familiar.
While the world was divided in two, Lord Ratatosk transformed into his core and became dormant.
That's this core on my forehead, Ratatosk's core.
You mean that's the Demon Lord Ratatosk's egg?
Lord Ratatosk is not a demon lord. He was a summoned spirit of the great tree of old and is the lord of all monsters.
So he was an OG summoned spirit who just pieced out when Mythos wrecked the world.
In order to awaken Ratatosk, we have to first awaken all of his servants, the Centurions, by hatching them. That's why we're on a journey looking for the Centurions' cores.
Why can't Ratatosk stay asleep?
If he's asleep, nature will be thrown off balance and destroy the world. For instance, Ratatosk's sleep is the reason why Lake Sanoa has dried up. And without him around to oversee things, most monsters have cut ties with the centurions they serve.
So maybe also in thinking about what I was talking about earlier with regard to Tales of Symphonia and the way monsters work in there, maybe part of the explanation that Ratatosk would retcon in is because he's asleep and he's the one who governs all the monsters. That's part of why a decline in civilization in whichever world is declining at the time begets more monsters, because he's asleep. Kyle Hebert, alright. Do we know him from anything else? Has he been around the block too?
So the monsters are running wild and causing the world's mana to fall out of balance.
Even while Lord Ratatosk is dormant, the Centurions are supposed to form ties with monsters and maintain order. Yet the Centurion of Water, Aqua, has allied with Richter and is neglecting her duties. Which is precisely the reason why we have seen one water-related disaster after another. It's absolutely deplorable.
Raising the question of what Richter wants, and why Aqua would ally with her.
If all this is true, then why do you have to fight?
Okay, yes. Now that you say that, I definitely hear that.
Lord Ratatosk is exceedingly powerful. Though they may not be as powerful as Ratatosk's core, Centurion's cores still possess remarkable powers.
Some people are trying to get the cores for their own selfish reasons.
Lloyd and Richter are among those people. Lady Marta recovered Ratatosk's core from them.
But somehow the core managed to attach itself to my forehead. To tell you the truth, it's a bit frustrating.
Do you understand now?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, more so than before, but that's a low threshold.
But I still can't believe Richter would do something like that.
Yeah, Name That Voice Actor is one of my favorite games to play in a JRPG. Especially in a Tales game where they bring in so many people from different places.
Out of sight, since my presence may draw unwanted attention.
Oh, hey! You're not one of the monsters that attacked the people in town, are you?
Of course not. Those monsters were lured to the village by Lumen's core. When Centurions are in their core state, they're unable to control their powers. This results in the disruption of the mana balance and throws nature into chaos.
That's why I don't want to give the core to Lloyd or Richter.
I guess Centurion's cores are nothing but trouble.
That's an interesting bit of retconning too to think about with Symphonia too, because like if Tenebrae is saying that the causal link between monsters and mana is that like Ratatosk being asleep and monsters being out of balance is what causes mana to go out of balance, then if we're to assume that was also the case in Symphonia, it wouldn't just be that Mythos turned the world into this hourglass relationship between Tetheala and Silverant where mana goes back and forth, but that also part of what maybe makes the mana chaotic or like unpredictable between the worlds is because Ratatosk is asleep, and so it's not like ordered in the way that it otherwise would be, the mana flows.
How rude.
Alright.
I don't know. I was saying earlier, I like Emil's voice actor in this. I feel like it's like it takes a certain amount of talent as a VA to really put that sort of just wimpy cowardice into your voice, and the way he just trembles and recoils at everything. Like, I feel like there's a little more art to it than you might think.
Oh, we should first go tell the mayor what happened with Richter.
But maybe I'm being too much of an apologist about it.
Okay, maybe we can ask him about Lloyd too. Let's go.
Yeah. I don't want her to see me being yelled at by my aunt and uncle. Hey, Tenebrae, are you here?
Yes, I'm right over here.
Huh? Where?
Here.
Over here?
No, over here.
Wait, you mean here?
Tenebrae, stop teasing Emil.
How rude.
This is part of the training of a
Yeah,
Ratatosk.
I think there's definitely something special to that approach to voice acting as well. But I don't know, there are just certain voice actors whom I love and everything, and so I feel like when they're worked into games that I enjoy, it just makes it that much more rewarding for me. Like, I don't think he's in this one, but Jamieson Price is my favorite example of this. He's probably my favorite voice actor anywhere, and that guy gets into everything.
You to his home so suddenly.
I get it now. Emil's so shy, he must be too embarrassed to return home with
And
his
I know what you mean. If the
girlfriend.
voice actors are in everything and they don't have that much versatility, it can make things sound correspondingly samey.
Like me more. Hey, Emil! When's your birthday? What's your favorite food? Do you like girls with long or short hair better?
Hey, Marta, stop clinging to me.
I'm afraid this will be an unrequited love.
What? We'll take your money, Emil, but it won't make us like you. This is the shop, right?
Lady Marta, we've been looking for you.
Hawk. Is he a friend?
Commander Brute says that if you return Ratatosk's core, all will be forgiven, and you'll be welcomed back into the Vanguard.
Oh, she's with the Vanguard.
You're a member of the Vanguard?
You can tell Commander Brute that what you did, what all of you did, isn't something I can forget.
Whatever do you mean?
Don't act dumb. I'm not giving up Ratatosk's core.
Then we will show you no mercy. Men, seize Lady Marta.
Yes, sir!
Oh, battle in town? That's gauche.
It's over! It's over! Strike! Move! Won't work!
And that's that!
Good try.
Lady Marta, Emil, we must leave this place at once.
You're right. Let's go.
What? How did I get wrapped up in this mess?
Well, it's easy, Emil. You have no backbone. This is a cool riff on the battle theme from the original game.
You're using too much art.
My choice.
You're using too much art.
It's my choice. It's over. Of course I won.
Moving on up.
Get them! Move! What?
Huh? What?
That is a very large sword? Spear? You have a large weapon, sir.
You're from the Church of Martel.
Lance.
I am Magnar, Commandant of the Church of Martel.
Oh, it's gotta be a lance.
By the orders of Lloyd the Great, I have come to take the Demon Lord Ratatosk and the Centurion's core.
You're all the same.
Hand it over, and I will guarantee that none of you will be harmed. However, if you refuse, this town will meet the same fate as Palmacosta.
We're echoing the start of Symphonia with all the towns being destroyed wherever we end up. But for seemingly very different reasons by different folks.
Same as Palmacosta? What does he mean?
What, boy? You don't know? A foolish vanguard planned to use Ratatosk's core to start a rebellion in order to destroy the Church of Martel and the Chosen.
Lloyd killed all of those innocent people to steal Ratatosk's core and to quell the rebellion.
That's what my parents died for?
Imp, my servant, go! Lady Marta, Emil, we must leave town now.
What should we do? If we leave, the town will be destroyed.
Foolish, barbarous Silveranti, listen well. I am Commandant Magnar of the glorious Martel Knights. We have come here to arrest the vile vanguard for their crimes. Blasphemy against the church and inciting rebellions and discontentment across the world. However, we have also recently received reports from Lloyd the Great stating that the people of Lewin have been engaged in sinful cooperation with the vanguard. Therefore, this whole town, along with the vanguard, now face charges of treason against the Chosen.
Yeah, so it's like the Church of Martel has just slid into the same sort of authoritarian, dogmatic role that the Desians had with their iron fist over Silverant in the first game.
But I will grant one final opportunity to redeem yourselves. A girl named Marta is hiding in this city. Bring her to me. Do so, and Lloyd the Great may very well forgive your crimes.
It's a good mirror, too, because Lewin was destroyed in the first place in Symphonia because they were hiding escapees from the ranch, the human ranch.
But I can't.
Why not? If you, the Vanguard, hadn't attempted a rebellion, Palmacosta never would have been destroyed in the first place. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. But if we don't do something, Lewin will be destroyed. And if that happens, everyone will blame me since I'm the one who brought you here.
You're right. sorry about what happened in Palmacosta.
Where are you?
I'll give them Ratatosk's core. I'm sorry, Tenebrae.
Emil, Knight of Ratatosk, you just sent Lady Marta to her death.
You are just the worst, he said in the most polite way possible.
Lord Ratatosk's core on her forehead requires energy from her body. The core cannot be separated from her before Lord Ratatosk awakens. Removing it beforehand will surely cause her death.
No, we have to tell her.
She already knows. She intends to die for this town and for you, for your petty desire to protect yourself. I just wanted you to know the consequences of your words.
Harsh.
I'm going to stop
The
Marta.
most passive-aggressive Centurion in the world.
You'll be ostracized by the people in town.
I don't care.
Well then, I shall go with you.
I'm here now. Are you satisfied?
Tell us where Ratatosk's core and the Centurion's cores are.
I don't have a Centurion's core, but Ratatosk's core is right here. If you want it that badly, you'll have to take it with my head.
What a marvelous idea. I think I will. Seize our men! All right. We no longer have any need for this town. Hand down the divine punishment they deserve.
No, wait a minute! You said that you'd...
That's enough! Silence! The orders of Lloyd the Great are absolute. All right, men, the time has come. Pillage! Kill! Show them the divine punishment of the goddess Martel! Yes, sir!
And the new goddess at the end of Symphonia asked for one damn thing. And couldn't even do that. Just get along and love the world tree. Okay, well, two things, I guess, but still.
Oh no! Stop it!
Ooh. It's quite the look for your main protagonist in the first 3 hours of the game.
Didn't you hear what I said? I said stop, you miserable swine!
Dark side!
I'll teach you the true meaning of divine punishment!
That was interesting, the break to the shattered screen animation that starts the battle. To me, that was very much coded the way it is when, like, a boss initiates a battle with your party, but the one who was talking was Emil, your character. It's like a total inversion of the typical setup. Almost like we're the boss now, against these foot soldiers. Kick to the head. What a finisher.
Stand up, Marta.
Emil.
Now then, time for your punishment. You better pray to Martel one last time. Pray to her for a painless death.
One right after the other. Man, I love the momentum in the early moments of this game.
Dragon Bang! Dragon Bang! Move! Move!
It's over!
This doesn't feel like quite a fair fight.
Strike! Dragon Bang! Dragon Bang! How could I...
You're so amazing!
Shut up! That was nothing.
I love the way you said that.
I'm not fighting anymore.
I love you, Emil. Your newfound confidence as being a knight of Ratatosk is so attractive. Oh my god, that face.
I don't understand. Who are you? The question is, who the hell are you? Well, let's see your divine punishment now. Go ahead. Show it to me. Are you listening?
Emil. That's enough, Emil. Stop it!
What did I do?
That reminds me of that moment in the 4th season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Waking the Dragons when the Pharaoh absolutely just lays into Weevil with Breaker the Magical Warrior, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. They've quickly gone from loathing him to being terrified of him. Dura Monstacado! I will admit, that's one that I do love the dub for because Dan Green's reading of the line, "This just isn't your day," when he draws like the 5th monster card or something, is just absolute chef's kiss to me. Oh, it's way too late to worry about getting in over our head, buddy. Mr. Mayor, help us, please.
Dita, Maul, they didn't run away.
Oh, hey! How are you? You doing good?
Super sorry we bullied you before we knew you were a badass.
We're pretty busy, so, yeah, it's not like we're afraid of you or anything.
Oh.
Both the Vanguard and the Martel Knights have left town. The mayor wants to talk to you. Will you come?
Jeez, you beat the piss out of one church elder and everyone loses their minds.
You saved me again. I'll always be on your side. That's a promise. So cheer up, okay?
Thanks, Marta.
Emil.
Aunt Flora,
Get away from us, you monster!
How could you?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Stay out of my territory.
Emil, thank you for coming. I have a favor to ask of you.
What sort of favor?
I want you to go find Lloyd for me.
Is this your way of telling me to leave?
No, I simply cannot believe what just happened here. The Lloyd that I know would never allow this kind of slaughter and looting, even on orders from the church.
But...
I didn't believe what you said about Paul Macosta until today. But it seems that the same thing almost happened to our town.
This voice actor has definitely been in other Tales games.
I'm just not sure what to believe anymore.
Mayor, it doesn't take much for people to change. Like me.
That may be so. Which is exactly why I want you to investigate this. Why Lloyd changed like he did, and why he's looking for Ratatosk and the Centurion's cores.
So this is how you plan to protect Emil from the fear of the townspeople.
The people of our town are easily frightened. Please forgive them. But I believe this is for your own good.
I'll look for Lloyd. And then, I will avenge my parents.
I understand. I won't try to stop you. Emil, our town may be full of people who fear you, but this is still your home. I know it may sound hard to believe now, but once things calm down, I want you to come back.
I'm sorry I caused so much trouble.
Emil, thank you for saving Lewin.
That is a nice change in perspective from the mayor of Azalea exiling Lloyd at the start of Symphonia and saying, you know, never come back, we hate you, you've ruined us. This guy's much more mature, being like, I know you've got to go, but you have to know that you got to come back someday. So the world is healed in some ways. It's just undergone radical schisms in some others. Should probably get some more gels now that we have some money. Please. Take my items, just don't hurt me. Yeah, that'll do.
Emil, wait!
Marta?
Tenebrae and I are going with you.
Why?
The whole point of our journey is to find the Centurion's cores and wake up Ratatosk. So Lloyd is our common enemy.
Since we share the same objective, it would be in our best interest to work together.
But...
You also made a pact with Ratatosk as a knight, right? And Ratatosk is stuck on me. So that means you have to protect me.
You are literally my knight in, well, not shining armor, but something like that.
As I told you before, Lady Marta had been looking for you. She wanted the boy who saved her back in Palma Costa, you, to be a knight of Ratatosk. So please.
It's partly my fault that things ended up the way they did. Let us go with you.
I really don't remember meeting you before. Are you okay with that?
It's okay, because I remember. And you're brave, so I feel like I can count on you.
You think I'm brave? I'm nothing like that.
No, you really are. You already saved me several times since we met again. And you wouldn't have done that if you didn't have courage. That's why I want to go with you. We can start off as friends, right? Of course, I don't mind being more than friends.
The most forward girl in the Tales universe. Well, actually, as I think about
Courage
that,
is the magic that turns dreams into reality.
she has some competition, but she's up there.
It's just like he said.
What?
Oh, it's nothing.
Why don't we get going?
Right. Okay, let's go.
A quest takes shape. Alright. Well, if that's not a great place to wrap up for the evening, I don't know what is. We have the terms of engagement. We know a little bit about what we're doing. We're off to find Lloyd and try to figure out for the party and for ourselves as players of Tales of Symphonia what the heck is going on. How does Ratatosk fit into all of this? What is the Church of Martel doing? What's the Vanguard doing? What does the rest of the world even look like now that everything has been reunited? So I'm really excited to revisit this and see where it all goes. It's been too long, and already I can tell it's going to be a wild ride in the best of ways. So want to thank you all for joining me. Georg, shout out to you for stopping by and contributing to the chat. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. It was great chatting and riffing with you, so hope you come back if you did like it. This is Tales of Praxis. We do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, same time every day. That's 7 to 10 Eastern time, and everything goes on YouTube after that. So keep watching, showing up, going through this adventure with us if you love the storytelling of JRPGs and want to dig into some great Bandai Namco ones. And look for more companion articles on withaterriblefate.com coming real soon. But for now, thank you everyone, and I'll see you again on Wednesday. Cheers. Have a great rest of your evening.